are you planning on making an announcement in your Discord and see if anybody is online at the time?
Yeah, so one of my guys said he was going to do that on my end. Hang on. Here, I'll do it.
Lola, mic check.
Hi,
Hey, can you hear
testing.
me?
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Well, listen, um, at 10 a.m., let's just go ahead and start. And if people pile in, it's kind of a bad time of day. 10 a.m. Eastern is not like the best time of day. And obviously, crypto is in a slump right now. You know, I I've noticed a tremendous drop off in activity in DeFi over the last 2 weeks, and the last 2 days have been the worst days of those 2 weeks.
Seeing as some of the bigger projects, especially like Titano, have gone from a treasury of what 20 near enough 20 million, 18, 19 million about a week and a half ago to they are now about 3.5 million.
Incredible.
Like their treasury is just collapsed. Like a lot of treasuries are just collapsing at the moment, and it's terrible. Like
Yes, it is terrible.
there's not a lot of the problem with a lot of DeFi at the moment is there's not a lot of backup with it. There's not a lot of actual utility that they're providing that actually can float the protocol, and that's a lot of the problem at the moment.
Yeah, big time. I mean, one of the big distinctions that we've had to make in DeFi is that tokenomics is not a business model, right? A project can have incredible tokenomics, but at some point there needs to be an
A true
infusion.
to life, real business model. It needs to actually be there needs to be a business plan, a business structure, and a real forward-looking roadmap for a company, not just a short-term giveaway roadmap or a short-term adding one or two little platforms that can generate a little bit more tax, like the Switch program or the Loss-Free program that Titano have run, because they're unsuccessful at the end of the day.
Yeah.
What we're trying to do is actually provide a lot more utility that can all of the brands that we're trying to build off the back of the token, like the casino, which is already nearly built. It's very far along development. Um, those all generate profit, and those go direct. 25% of all of those go directly back into our liquidity pool, and the LP tokens get burned, so the liquidity gets locked
Okay.
into the
Well,
liquidity pool.
let's well, first let me ask a
Right.
couple of questions and introduce ourselves, and then
Yeah. Right.
so the first thing I wanted to ask before we get too far in, a lot of people are having trouble accessing the white paper, and I guess I should have told you about that last night. So my bad. Are you aware of this?
To be honest, no. Give me 2
It's just a
seconds.
security token problem. I'm sure everything is fine. Um,
Uh, yeah, we were. I think the white paper was originally hosted on Gitbook, and I. It looks like our Gitbook connection has just dropped for some, as in like our connection to the Gitbook website has dropped. I get my front end developer on that because I'm not the one who actually does front end, so that
Right.
should
I
fix it. So
on the white paper and the website, it said that this connection is not private. This website may be impersonating docs.cyborg.credit to steal your personal or financial information. You should close this page. And that's what
yes,
I'm
there's
supposed to.
probably just a connect. There's probably because it's a it's a third-party connection. There's probably something gone wrong there. It was working until a day or two ago. I didn't know there was any problem with it. I say I have been traveling, so I will get onto that as soon as possible.
Yeah, it was working when I first checked it out, which was I think over a week ago. But anyway, I'm
Yeah, so
I'm
I
Caraway.
we haven't had any problems announced in our chat about it until probably this morning. I say I did hear about it earlier today, and I did message my developer, but he is in a weird time zone. He will be on in about 3 hours, so it
Okay.
should be fixed later today.
Let's go ahead with introductions. So I'm Caraway. This is Fear versus Greed. Thank you all for being here. We're an alpha group and a research group. We provide um, a daily update with all of the current launches and launch times. For instance, just today, let me take a quick look. Mech Game Public Mint, Lunar Public Launch, Oracle Finance Public Presale, Vegasino Private Presale, Diamond Finance Public Launch was delayed to May 16th, Plant a Tree Public Launch, and Gates of Heaven Public Launch in just an hour. I just wanted to run through that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 launches today, some private, some public. And that's our service that we offer to members. And we're also just we're a community. I mean, we've got 50 plus paid members, 1,500 almost members in the Discord. Um, I just wanted to get through that real quick. Lola is one of our team members. She's been helping out a lot with community building and also with the AMAs. And LeVar Burton here in the who's taken the stage is one of our premium members, and he's been excellent help in the chat. He's always there hanging out with us, and he asks some really good questions. Byron is the founder and owner of Cyborg.Credit. Is that true, Byron?
Yes, it is.
Okay, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself further?
Yeah, so I'm Byron Cyborg. Originally, so I'm Philly Docs, and my original name was Byron Wake. I changed my name about 5 years ago. Um, the company was my idea. It was founded. The brand is mine. I've been working on parts of the utility platforms for over 2.5 years, and some of the stuff. The token itself has only come into development in about the last 3.5 months, but the actual some of the utility platforms like the casino, the mobile banking and stuff has been in the works for about 2.5 years. So my goal is to push that forward at the moment.
Okay, awesome. How long have you guys been working on Cyborg.Credit?
3.5 months, because Cyborg.Credit is the token brand. Cyborg, we're the Cyborg group. So Cyborg.Credit is the token. Cyborg.Casino is the casino. Cyborg.Bet is the sports betting. Cyborg. It's currently credit card is for the bank, and Cyborg.Network is for the mobile network.
Okay, great. Do you have any launch dates yet that you can share with us?
I can share what's been happening privately. So we have seen the whole dipping in DeFi and crypto this week, like everyone else has. And our original plan, and I actually had talked to you guys about this originally, was we were gonna have our OG private sale later today, but we've decided to push it for at least a few days. We're trying to sort out a firm date for it at the moment because we are sort of just working out the angles of how if we launch right now, is everything in too much of a slump? Versus if we wait a week from now, is everything going to be more of a slump, or is everything going to be starting to bounce back? Because tech is not usually down for very long.
I think that's a very important question. I think people are just going back to sleep. I don't think that they're participating in anything. Although that's not true. We did see Dreamin', but of course that's a big one. Mech Game did okay, but these are almost the exceptions that prove the rule. It has been brutal out there for people who have launched in the last couple of days.
I agree, and to be honest, we're we're so far apart from all of the other forks that have come about so far that I'm not too worried about how we'll fit into the market because I know we'll do well. It's just launch because of our launch plan. So our launch plan is to do our OG sale, which is 10 million tokens at at a price of 1.25 cents, 1.75 cents, sorry, so $0.0175. But we'll say our initial token supply will be 85,555,555. So the other two sales in total will be selling 70 million before launch. But the first sale is already selling 10 million, and that's at a price of 1.75 cents.
What does that come
And
to as a total raise if you sell out completely?
the second two sales, I wouldn't want to confirm that right this second. The
Gotcha.
first
That's okay.
sale, the first sales hard cap is 175,000 US dollars.
Right.
So yeah, that's the hard cap for sale one because we don't want to, because sale one is only going to be lasting a few days, and then we'll be launched going into whitelist sale, and that's a bigger sale. But the OG sale is for our longest collaborators and fans and people who want to get in early, because though it's about 45% off the starting price that we will be doing for the public pre-sale.
Okay.
It's 43.5%, I think it is.
I know that LeVar Burton has a meeting very soon. Would you mind too much if we allowed him to go ahead and ask you some questions? Because it's really nice when people take the stage and ask it with their own voice. And
Yeah, that's fine.
okay, just go ahead and chime in if you're there, LeVar Burton.
I appreciate it. Do have to leave in 15, so I'll just be straightforward. I see 3.8, what was it percent? 3.82% daily. It's probably not going to last for the entirety of your project. When exactly are you going to lower that ROI?
So the ROI is fixed for a certain portion of time. We are looking at 18 months, but it might go down to 12. That'll be announced before the launch of either sale. It's only because of projections of different parts. But if we were going to lower the APY, it wouldn't just be as simple as, because we can do it dynamically in the background and we can work on the actual protocol. But if we were going to if we were going to lower the APY or turn into a more of a dynamic APY, we'd probably do a full migration for that. So we are working on something similar to provide something a bit more stable in the long run, but it would be a full migration in about 6 to 12 months. But we will have more details about that publicly later.
Okay. So minimum 12 months of 3.82% return.
A minimum of 6 to 12 months, yes.
6 to 12 months. Okay. So from 18 to 6 months, you have like a solid projection on how long that percentage would last?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
So I'm not casting aspersions. I'm just saying that you start at 18 and then you backing up to 6 months.
No, I said it was more 6 to 12 months. We'll have a migration.
Migration.
But 18 months is how long it would be sustainable for. Without sustainable, but would we have killed the protocol? Because it's sort of like the Titano fallacy. They got to about 5 months, did a migration that wasn't very successful, and then killed the protocol, basically. Like, I'm not saying Titano's dead, but Titano's pretty much dead compared to where they were 3 months ago, 2 months ago, a month ago. Like, And I'm just saying that if we were to keep the projects of going and surviving and go to the next step, we would need to iterate, and we would come. The only reason we decided to go with the Titano fork to start with is because of the token protocol and the utility platforms that we can provide. We've worked out that we can keep it stable longer than most because we can pump more money into the liquidity that doesn't need to be removed. So we can pump more money into liquidity than any other Titano fork, and our goal is to have the biggest market cap in under 6 months out of any other Titano fork.
Okay, so you project that you were able to last for 18 months, but you plan on migrating before you ran out of runway.
Yes, because then we can basically change our runway. Because if we're going to migrate, we'll migrate to something completely custom, and it will be just the plans and the stuff that's already been developed for it. Because some of the portions of it has already been developed, will be absolutely sick, and that'll be coming a few months after initial launch. So, like at least 6 months, but probably 6 to 12.
Okay. And you said you yourself was doxxed. Are you a developer or are you a project manager, just the owner?
I am an owner slash developer. So I've been an IT consultant for the past 8 years. I've worked for companies like MasterCard. I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard of NXP, but they are probably the biggest manufacturer of radio frequency identification and near field communication microchips in the world. Plus, they do a load of stuff with solar and electricity. They are a major company. They used to be owned by Philips and Siemens, but they merged off into their own company a few years back, and I worked for them for a year and a half. I worked for a company called Dangerous Things who make implantable microchips. Plus, I worked for the government in the UK and Australia for a little bit. I've done a lot of stuff over the years, and I am a developer, and I've worked a little bit on the pre-sale launch, but I've also done a lot on the actual Titano fork that we're using, plus the code for the casino.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. Are there any other developers, and will they KYC or docs?
All of our developers should KYC. A few of them will be doxing as well. That sort of stuff will be announced in the coming weeks, nearer to the end of the private sale or the main sale. Or before launch. Before launch, everyone will be KYC'd. Some people will be doxed. On the development team,
Okay.
because with the launch of the casino and the banking side of stuff, we have a lot more restrictions and KYC requirements for our company than most other cryptos have. So we're aiming for like to be a blue chip crypto. We want, in the long term, to have a platform and portfolio that can back up this sector, because we can do things other people can't.
And one more question that I have to hop back into the audience. You say that you're running like banking services. I'm not from a compliance side of things, but how would you deal with regulation around that, especially if you're going to be international?
So it wouldn't be 100% of countries worldwide, but we are targeting our major sectors. So I've working for MasterCard for years gave me a really good understanding of the banking sector, probably better than most. And we're applying for what's called an EMI license, an electronic money institution. By having one of these licenses, we can basically you hold it in a country. So we will be holding ours in the UK, but it allows us, because the license is held with MasterCard and not the UK government, we can actually hold money from different countries. So we can, as in our clients can. So one account you can hold US dollars, UK pounds, euros, Australian dollars, and the Singaporean pounds currently. We'll be adding more fiat options on the other later. But also on top of that, you'll be able to hold the majority of cryptocurrencies that we allow and that we'll back up, because we have a unique payment rail option that we like to call Buffer. It's a payment rail between fiat and it's a fiat and a multi-chain crypto swap protocol that we've been working on. That we worked on a few years back. I worked on a few years back. Sorry, I should say. I like sharing credit too often, but this one was me. I worked on a few years back as a contractor for one of our suppliers, and then the supplier is a company called Qantas, run by three guys who are all my university friends. So we worked on it. I worked on it with them for a little bit, and they're providing some of the banking solutions. They've got a lot of the deals in place to make stuff banking level security for the app, and also the licenses to get certain tests done for the app to prove that we are secure, which is surprisingly difficult to get done in the UK. And once we got it done in the UK, it's pretty much done for the world.
Okay. Gotta leave, but I appreciate you answering my questions. Thank you, Ann Caraway, for putting me up on the stage. Thank you.
Thank you, LeVar Burton. I think that
Have
was
a
my
nice day.
first time hearing his voice. Byron, do you know who LeVar Burton? Does that name ring a bell to you?
I was gonna say, is it a basketball?
No. Hey now. Hey. I don't know if that was a joke or not, but it's Jordy from The Next Generation
Oh yeah, okay.
with the
Okay.
visor, the blind guy with the visor. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do, because of my brother, and I have to admit, I'm heavily autistic, and my so is my brother. We have very similar interests, but very different ones. He went down the Star Trek route. I went down the Doctor Who and Harry Potter route. So I never
Ah.
really went down the Star Trek route.
Well, he also starred in Roots, and he starred in Reading Rainbow, and guy's a pretty big dang star, I would say. I'd say he's one of the most famous people. He's kind of, uh,
Yeah, I've definitely heard the name, but like I
yeah.
couldn't. Yeah, okay. I wasn't 100% sure if that was just a nickname.
No, anyway, um, where do you want to go from here? I mean, do you want me to just start asking you questions, or do you want to talk more about sort of the scope and the roadmap of your project?
So do you want to ask some questions for now? We can sort of go into that sort of stuff with the questions, I guess.
Yeah, so you said that the casino is almost done. Can you talk about what's left to do and when that will be ready?
So with the casino, the stage we're up to is the back end is mostly done. We've been done for that for a while. It's actually a lot of just getting games ready. The game side of it is pain, and you can go down two routes with developing a casino, and a lot of the crypto casinos go down both routes. So you can either develop your own games in house,
Uh-huh.
which takes a surprising amount of time and is quite costly, or or even I should say, you can rent, not rent, you can come up with licensing agreements with companies that have already made a load of these games.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I totally get
And
it.
so we've made 12 in house.
Wow.
So 12 in house, they're all completely done. So they're I think I'm gonna butcher how many we've got. I can't remember all 12 from
That's
my head, but
okay.
it's like poker,
Tell me about
Keno.
your favorite game that you guys have developed. I mean, is there anything unique or I know a lot about casino games and things like that. Uh,
So
yeah. So
the
what
games
which
we've
one's your
currently
favorite?
developed
Which ones are
is.
most excited for?
I like a bit of Keno, to be honest. It's one of my favorite crypto, like casino games, especially the crypto casinos. I just sort of like all the balls dropping and seeing the different. I know it's just one of my favorite games to play, and it's yeah. But there's also we've got the sort of like the crypto crash game. So where it's like a rocket going up, and you get a certain multiplier depending on how long you hold on. But if you don't cash out before the rocket explodes, you lose everything.
Did you ever watch Price is Right? Is that something that they have
We don't have it.
in
Well, we
UK?
don't have it in the UK anymore. But I do know the show.
There was a mountain
Um,
climber game where, as the little man would climb the mountain, but then if you got the question wrong, the man would fall off the mountain and you would lose everything. It sounds like that.
yeah, it's similar to that premise, but it's more about your reaction speed. You can also set just a certain price that it will cash out at, but you need to get to that point. If you don't get to that point, you lose your money. That's how that game works. But it's one of my favorite games. I because you can go the route of just doing like a 1.1 multiplier, and you'll get like most of the time that'll work. But then all of a sudden, one time the rocket will only go up one, and it won't even get to 1.1. So you can be caught out with that game, and it's fun as hell, but it's all provably fair, and I love it.
Did you know that Keno is actually played in bars, restaurants, and even like gas stations here in America? Is it the same way in the UK?
Um, no, we don't play Keno in the UK publicly, really. Because I've always presumed it's sort of like Pachinko in Japan. Have you ever heard of that?
I've heard of it, but I can't picture it.
Pachinko is a load of little metal ball bearings, and you sort of fire them in. It's sort of like a pinball game, but it's not. And the funny thing is, in Japan, all gambling is illegal, but Pachinko is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and they
Mm.
get away with it by you don't win money, you win a prize like a stuffed animal or
Ah,
something.
yeah.
That stuffed animal will have value. You take your receipt next door and you just give it to them, and they'll give you cash. You have to go next door to get the cash,
You know,
which is a separate business.
Price is Right has this game too. I think it's called Plinko, where the person stands at the top of a great big pegboard, like a 20-foot tall pegboard, and they drop the token, and then at the bottom there are different prizes. So sometimes it might fall into one of the bad ones where you get no prize or like $100, and then in the middle there's a real small one where you can get $10,000. It's but that's not Keno. When I think of Keno, I think of well, here in America, it's always digital. I mean, it's like a box that is connected to the internet or perhaps a closed net, and somewhere or other they're drawing balls. Although I assume it's digital. And basically, you have a card, and you select some numbers, and they draw the numbers, and you lose, and typically, and then the next round starts, and you pick more numbers, and basically you would give the people $30, and that would be good for like 3 games, right? Is that
Mm.
Keno as you're talking, or it's I guess it's the same thing either way, right? I mean,
I think in this case it's more of balls dropping. So it's sort of similar to those, yeah, like a pegboard in like a pyramid fashion. You select ours is red, green, or blue, I think it is, and each layer has a different multiplier. So it's like they're all stacked up at the bottom, and they all fall down. And
hmm.
if depending on which hole the board lands, yeah, it's sort of like your Plinko game, but it's all digital, and yeah, I don't know, yeah, that's sort of how it works. So it's one of my favorite games. So I like all the balls falling. But I also like craps. I'm quite good at craps. If I ever go to a real life casino, and I don't go terribly often, I've probably been once or twice a year. I play hands of craps. It's one of the best card games to play.
Card games, craps to me is a dice game. You bet pass, don't pass, or you bet a number.
That's what I meant. I'm quite tired, to be honest. I say the casino stuff is not. I know the development side. I'm not an expert on actual how like playing, and yeah, don't take any of my financial advice when it comes to betting in casino
What's the
or sports betting, because anything I do is just my personal. I like the game, or I like. I don't say when I with the sports betting side of stuff. I don't want to push anyone actually to use it. If they want to and they're going to, or use it, but I don't want to push anyone to it. Gamble responsibly, because like sports betting, you can make a lot of money, and there's some good spreads out there, especially with like. I always used to do greyhound betting, because in the UK greyhound racing is quite like a big sport, and you can there's usually like 50 races a night, which is
really?
like a bit. Yeah, they do a lot of them. They literally one after another, after another, after another, and they have like 10 tracks. So there's just a when it's a greyhound racing night, there's just hundreds of them, and you can the odds are usually pretty good, so you can sort of like stack them and make a lot more. Um, you can sort of weigh your odds a little bit and just say do the ones that no one expects, and also the ones that people favour, and usually come out on top either way, because greyhound racing is so unpredictable.
Let me say a word to the audience. We are having 10 OG whitelists to give out, and go ahead and ask your questions. This is, as far as I know, an Ask Me Anything. And Byron's here,
Yep.
and he won't be here for forever. And in the meantime, so yeah, you guys can also raise your hand if you want to take the stage. That'd be awesome. In the meantime, I guess let's pivot away from the casino. One of the things that um, caught my eye was the mention of an NFT marketplace, a launch pad, and a DEX. And I hate to say it, but it's always a little bit of a red flag when you feel like somebody's over promising. What is the timeline on these projects, and do you really expect to accomplish all of these?
Yes. Yes to the answer to do we expect to complete all of them? Timeline for all of them. So Dex, relatively short after launch. That should actually be coming relatively soon. I have no doubt that that will be done within 2 weeks of the actual launch of the token.
Is this going to
Um,
be like a specialized DEX, or are you guys going to actually compete with um, um, I guess what token are you guys pairing with again?
BUSD.
Okay, so are you guys going to actually compete with PancakeSwap? Is that the plan?
I don't think competing is the correct word, because we sort of want to blow them out of the water. And I'm not going to lie, we have we have some ambitious goals, but some of the marketing strategies my guys have been coming up with, and ways that we are going to be drawing in new customers, is going to be pretty cool. Actually, can I talk about one of these? Because one of the casino ideas we actually thought was a bit genius.
Okay,
So,
yeah, great.
so how how the casino works with payments is the casino is actually run on chips, which are different to the Cyborg tokens. So Cyborg token is just the main protocol's token, and then when you go to the casino, you connect your wallet. You have to make an account. On the casino, you connect your wallet, you transfer in your cyborg, and you get a corresponding amount of cyborg chips. And then once you bet, you gamble, then you get your winnings or your losing. Like if you want to withdraw what left, what money you have to withdraw with cyborg, and it goes back to your wallet. So there's no way in and out. So you're not charged but you're not charged the 18% swap, the 20%, there's 20% sell and 14% buy. You're not charged that for when you're swapping between the chips. But one of the cool things that we decided to do with the casino is because the casino payment system is using our buffer system, it just cannot use fiat because of KYC laws and anti-money laundering laws.
Right.
But we can have multi-chain support for the casino. So we decided certain cryptos will be allowed to put money in to Cyborg chips. But again, if you want to withdraw the money from Cyborg chips, you can only do it in Cyborg. So one of the things we were suggesting we were going to do as a marketing angle is put a 1.1 or 1.2 multiplier on any funds come over from a certain project that looks like it's dying. And to protect ourselves in that, there's a sell transaction baked into the swap transaction. So if there's no liquidity left in another token and it cannot sell it and exchange it for either BNB or BUSD instantly, it won't complete the transaction. So basically, in the case of, say, Titano, if we offered everyone 1.2% multiplier on whatever money they had left in there, we can slowly drain their liquidity pool by getting as many people offloaded from Titano as possible, or other cryptos that are dying, and sort of not in a nasty way, but put a metaphorical nail in their ship and crash into them, because we're sort of trying to not grow as fast as possible, but we have, like you said, we have got a lot of ambitions, and everything that's on our roadmap currently can be completed before the end of this year. And I don't want to let anyone down, and we know that we can do everything, because the stuff that's not on the roadmap, and I don't want to share publicly right now, is even crazier than the stuff that is on the roadmap. But I don't want to put them on there right now, is because I don't know when they will be done. And if I don't know when they're done, or can be done, I don't want to publicly say that right this second, if that makes sense.
Yes, it makes perfect sense. I made the mistake of, I had an NFT project. I hired people, I got developers working on it, and I made some promises to some people, and it completely fell apart. The developers did not come through. They wouldn't communicate. They disappeared. Um, the employees weren't doing what they were supposed to do. Basically the hype died, and I learned a valuable lesson, which is don't promise somebody something until you've got it in your pocket.
Exactly. Like, I have to be comfortable to say that I can get something done. I need to know exactly everything that could go wrong with it. And I'm not, I like to be straight up and blunt with my timelines. And I can say that with the casino, I can give you a time of 7 to 8 weeks from now. But that does not include the fact that there might be a hold up getting the actual copy of the gambling license. We've got confirmation that our gambling license has been approved. We just haven't got the actual physical copy of the gambling license because it's coming from Curacao. And so that delay might delay the casino, but I don't think it will. So I'm still confident in the 7 to 8 weeks from now that the casino can be done, but I'm not confident in Curacao and the Curacao government's postal service. So,
Well, that makes sense. How could you be? Um,
yeah.
but to what extent does the completion of the items on the roadmap depend on the success of your token launch?
Surprisingly little. So I'm not going to beat around the bush. They will they will have a positive impact. It will have a positive impact on each of my utility platforms, because I have spent. We're coming close to $300,000 on development over the last 2.5 years on certain parts of this, from the apps that we're going to need for the banking side to the mobile network stuff, from the back end. Like, all of that sort of stuff costs money. Plus, the casino is a boatload of money. Plus, all the companies that we have set up internationally to manage the money in a most effective way for our holders. Yeah, I don't know. What was the original question again? I sort of rambled there.
I forget too, but oh, it was what is the uh, how direct is the connection between the completion of the items on your roadmap
Oh,
and the but that was a good answer. Um, I wanted to ask about by what mechanism does the success of the casino and your other projects translate into revenue for your holders? Um, is that a good way to put it? Do you understand what I'm saying?
yes. So it does.
Can I rephrase
Uh,
that?
yeah.
Let's say that through long period of accumulation, I managed to have 50% of the entire floating supply of tokens. Um, what can I expect over let's say that your casino runs for 10 years and I just hold 50% of the tokens that hold 10 years. You could even say, what if I had 100% of the tokens? I mean, what would my stake in the company and in the company's revenue be, and how would that be delivered to me?
Um, you wouldn't have a stake in the company, but you would if you're holding the tokens, as in the main protocol's tokens, and not just holding chips. Because one thing, if you're holding chips in the casino, they won't rebase. If you, but if when you withdraw them again, the main protocol's token does rebase. That's why we made the clear distinction with chips. Um, in regards to profit, 25% of all profits go directly back into liquidity pool, raising the total treasury.
Is that
Um,
is that through injection or through buyback?
25% injection
Okay.
locked, and it will not go down. Plus, there's burns every week. There's automatic burns every week.
How um how often is that injection? Is that weekly or monthly?
Um, it does slightly depend on the utility platform that you're talking about. So the casino, that will be done daily, whereas because it's all DAT based. Um, whereas the banking app was probably looking at weekly, and the mobile network we're actually looking at monthly, which is quite annoying. But I can't really do much about that to do with how billing systems work with phones. It's just easier to do on once a month dump.
Okay. Um, can I read a couple questions from the audience?
Yeah, that's fine.
What countermeasures can you take against, or will you take against dumping like happened in Titano? Basically, do you have any
Long
dump prevention tactics or ideas?
so dump protection at launch. So we're going to go. So obviously after the public pre-sale, we're going to do the first 48 to 72 hours having a lot higher sell tax, just so that we can sort of get past those initial hours without much dumping and without much major sell off. Um, in regards to long term, we're sort of trying to get this. That's why we're sort of targeting the 6 to 12 month mark for our migration, is because long term the protocol, our projection is the protocol can work for 18 months, but after about 11 to 12 months, there'll be irreversible damage, and we won't be able to reverse the trajectory of the crypto. So that's why we'd be wanting to do the migration, because these Titano projects are really good for 6 to 12 months, and they are very good at generating big profits. But the migration would be to stabilize the crypto going forward.
Very interesting. Um, so almost like a phase one, phase two.
Yes, and we will give plenty of buyback opportunities before the migration as well.
We,
So we want everyone to come across with the migration, but if you want to leave, we won't be forcing people to
right.
stay for the migration. But by that point, there'll be so much in the liquidity pool that it shouldn't matter. Plus the fact we actually have a deal in place with a company that I cannot name until the casino goes live due to NDA purposes, but I can talk about the deal in broad strokes. We have a deal in place with a company based out of the Middle East to provide $150 million worth of liquidity once the casino goes live. It's to prop up the casino. But they will provide that to the token protocol to prop up the casino. Plus, then 50 million a month extra will be added to the liquidity from them for the next 6 months after that. So that's as soon as the casino launches, and that's why we kind of push for everything to launch, because we know we can get to a bigger liquidity market cap than any other crypto without anyone else's help. So with all the community joining in, we know we'll be 10 times better off than any other crypto.
Won't you have to um, dilute the tokens to prevent the inevitable dump? Because, I mean, if somebody injected $150 million into Fire tokens right now or something like that, I'd certainly sell mine, right? I mean, that would be, do you see what I'm saying?
I reckon there would be a dump, and I wouldn't consider that. We have considered that possibility, but I think if the people dump, they don't really want to be in the project, and they can do that. It's their right, but the project itself, by the time the casino launches, will be sick. But give it another 4 months after that, we'll be one of the bigger crypto projects around. We're not going after like Titano and stuff, because we kind of already know we're better than them before we even launch. We're going after crypto.com.
Well, this brings us to a question from Lola. She says, why pick your platform over Roobet? Roobet. I don't actually know what Roobet is. I assume it's a crypto casino or a crypto sports book.
I don't know what it is either. So, Roobet. Um, because we are a Titano fork, you'll make more money by holding ours whilst you're not using it.
Mm.
So cashing out from the casino, you won't be charged a hefty tax. So moving your money from the casino back into your just Cyborg holdings is relatively easy. So with all of these crypto casinos, I've got money left on like BetFury from like 4 years ago that I cannot be bothered to withdraw because Bitcoin fees have got too ridiculous.
Yeah.
I have like $50 on there, but withdrawing those $50 is going to take like $35. And it's just like, what's the bloody point? Like that's another reason why we chose the BSC chain. It's because Ethereum is too expensive to do on the Ethereum chain. We don't want another ape scenario last week when the other deed launched and everything just like stopped working on the Ethereum network for hours, and just normal gas fees to buy one of those other deeds were like 25 grand by the end. And it was just like, why is that happening? Minting an NFT shouldn't cost 25 grand. And on the BSC network, nothing costs that much. Like, it's just so much simpler, and it's so much simpler to use that we want everyone to experience it and to use our platform because we know we can create something better than anyone else.
ASB says, is there a vesting period for the whitelist?
What does he mean by that?
Basically, a vesting period would be like, let's say that you purchased 100 tokens, you would get 10 tokens a day for 10 days. This is an anti-dump mechanism. A lot of projects do a vesting period. Not all, I'd say.
No, we won't be doing a vesting period. Like, for ours, there will be a 1-to-1 ratio of translation from pre-sale to there. But that's why we're offering a massive discount for the OG in the whitelist. So there's not as many tokens available for the OG in the whitelist as there is for the public pre-sale.
Right.
Because we are doing free pre-sales. But the OG and the whitelist one are at a hefty discount. I can release the price for the OG for the whitelist one right now as well, and the whitelist will be at 2.5 cents.
Oh,
So
wow.
we're already going up from 1.75 cents to 2.5 cents, and then the public pre-sale. I can tie myself into that price now because I'm quite comfortable in that, and it will be 3 cents. So we'll be going from 1.75 cents at OG sale to 3 cents for public sale, and there'll be a lot more tokens available at public sale than there will be at the OG sale. So if you guys get in early, and there's only 10 spots, we're giving away 10 spots today to anyone who wants to your community. And if you guys get in early, you get that hefty 43.5% discount. I think it is. Is it 42.5? Something like that.
Awesome. Yeah, very enticing. I work on a project called DreamFi, and so I'm like thinking about these exact same things all of the time. Um, thank you for your questions, ASB. Title says, how are you going to create hype around the project? And as an additional add-on question, what are your plans for marketing? That's a great question. I mean, marketing can take so many different forms. Some people say marketing and they do a mass DM. Other people say marketing and they get really creative with it. I've seen Reddit campaigns. I've seen everything from.
I have this such. Do I tell you guys about it? So, okay. This is an exclusive, but I haven't really told anyone publicly about this yet. But one of our marketing ideas. So actually, to answer the initial question, the majority of the OG sales funding, so the 175k, that's our hard cap for the OG funding. That majority of that will go towards marketing. Not all of it. Some of it will go towards liquidity, but to be honest, the majority of the whitelist and pre-sale, public pre-sale, will go towards liquidity. The first OG sale will go to more towards marketing and touch of development costs. But one of the marketing ideas we had is because we're targeting the casino and financial sectors. Is guerrilla marketing campaigns. Do you guys ever heard of those?
Sure, that's where people go on 4chan or Wall Street Bets and they pretend to not be marketers and they slip it in. Or, for instance, we had this idea you call into a talk show, like an internet talk show that does questions from the audience, and you just start shilling Cyborg.Credit, guys. Hey guys, love this show. Have you guys heard about Cyborg.Credit? And you just launch into it. Is that what you're talking
I
about?
think you guys are thinking a bit simple. Like, that's not what we mean. But it is technically guerrilla marketing, but it's not what we mean. Guerrilla marketing in the traditional. If you actually ask a marketing company,
Sure. Okay, let's hear it. I can't wait. I'm excited.
real life guerrilla marketing is if you ever go to, say, New York or London
Oh,
or
you're talking about
some
stickers on lampposts and graffiti
and
and Flyers
all
on.
the sort of like band posters you get along like construction sites. I don't know if that happens so much in the States. I know it happens in New York a little bit because they're a bit more of a punk scene back in the 70s and 80s. And you seem to find it wherever there was a punk scene, this sort of marketing happens, and it happens a lot in Europe in a lot of the major cities. So one of the things we're doing is we've hired an agency that will cover the majority of the major countries across Europe. We're trying to find something similar for the States. We've already actually found one for some of the major countries in Asia.
Wow,
Um,
I'll have to DM you to find out more about this. That's a great idea.
but we're going to go with posters and stickers, and the stickers are going to have NFC tags in them. So because I love NFC tags, and that's where the Cyborg name comes from, because I've got NFC tags implanted in me. So, like I said earlier, my name is Byron Wake, uh, Wake. If you Googled my name, you'll see a article that was in all the newspapers about me when I was 15. So, I had my first microchip implanted in me when I was 15. But
Wow.
but the guerrilla marketing, basically, we're going to do posters and stickers. But the NFC stickers, you'll be able to tap your phone against it if you see one in the wild, and go to our casino or go to our decks, depending on what the sticker's advertising.
Did your brother ever make any jokes about you becoming a Borg?
He's made too many jokes about that kind of thing.
You know all
Um,
about the Borg, right? From your brother, I hope.
he used to what was his name? Data.
Data was
He
an android. The
Yeah, he was the one. He was the one he used to tease me about. He was the one
ah
that he said I was. I remind him a lot of Data. He used to say.
well, the Borg swept in from the Gamma Quadrant and basically took over Klingon space, Cardassian space, and luckily they were stopped.
Did you just say
Um,
Kardashian space?
Cardassian. It sounds like
Oh.
Kardashian, but no, the Cardassians are anyway. They luckily they were stopped right at the border of Earth's solar system. Otherwise, the show would have had to have ended, right? So I think that's why they stopped them. Let's before- let's let's go ahead and pivot to a Star Trek theme. Let's get your brother on here, and we'll get Jordy back. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see.
He went that far, but no.
I'm gonna ask
I think his
this
actual picture
question
on
from
Discord right now is um
Bring him on here.
hard.
I'm gonna ask this question from Zero Cool and Lola. If you've got any more questions, just you know, I suppose get ready. Um, s- Zero Cool says, unrelated, but are you using a voice changer?
Uh, as in me, no. This is my normal voice. To be honest, I have been traveling a lot recently, and I feel a bit under the weather. But no, I've got a gravelly
Would you
voice.
consider getting one implanted so that you could change your voice at will, like Data?
Oh, again, I've never seen the show, so probably
Oh
though.
my God.
I would. I was quoted at 15 saying that I would get my eyes replaced with cyborg eyes as soon as they're available. Like, I'm a big proponent for the Neuralink project. I love that. I love the idea of Neuralink.
Would you
I honestly
volunteer?
think. Oh, I kind of signed up like 2 years ago. I also had a lot of interviews to work for them, but
Can you
getting
can you prove that Elon Musk is not controlling you currently?
yeah, you can't prove a negative.
Okay.
So
Can you sing two or three bars from Killing You Softly?
yes, but I don't know the song, so no.
Ah, you don't know Killing Me Softly with Your Hands? It was a big hit in the UK, I think 10 years ago. Hugh Grant sung it in some crappy movie.
Oh, oh, the song name rings a bell, but like
Killing
I
Me
don't.
Softly. Lola, I think she's ready to ask some questions.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll give her a moment. If anybody in the audience, and just butt in, Lola, if you're ready, just butt in. Anybody in the audience who wants to raise their hand, now's the time. If you want to ask a question, now is the time. And it looks like Lola has muted her mic and gone back to the audience.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know what was going on. Like I was speaking, but no, but my little thing wasn't like lighting up. Anyway, so what I was gonna ask is I know you already answered the. I think you answered the question to do you have a? I think you answered. Do you have a sports betting license?
Yes, we have a sports betting and gambling license from Curacao.
This is a
Well,
Right.
we
country,
have we
right?
have the actual official state. To be completely blunt and honest, is we have a letter of approval from them that was sent digitally to us, but we're waiting for the physical paper copy of the gambling license.
All right. Well, thank you. I would. That's just what I wanted to ask because was it easy to get it?
Oh yeah, relatively. It was just a lot of money. It's. I'm not gonna lie. Curacao is one of those countries that does provide some tax benefits to being in that country as well, not in just including the ease of use of getting a gaming license. Both of them were bonuses. There's basically no crypto tax over there, plus the Curacao gaming license. So I don't know. It was more money than it was effort. It was just I say one of the things I've specialised with running businesses and working for so many multinational companies over the years is company structures and how to structure companies in a way that we can manage tax
Uh,
and profits in a realistic way.
what company was this again? I'm sorry.
Um,
What
what
country?
sorry?
What country she means?
Uh,
No, like no, like the company you got your license through.
Lion. Oh, comp. I don't think I've said that publicly yet. I was just. I literally. I basically said it was Lion Gaming, but
Just
I.
sorry.
I.
My phone
I I
out.
sort of just realised I hadn't said that publicly yet. No, it's completely fine. It's my fault. But yeah, no, yeah, Lion Gaming. That's the company we're working with to do a lot of the KYC stuff for the gaming industry because they're it's a bit of a bitch sometimes to do KYC stuff, and it's mainly the anti-money laundering stuff. But to be honest, the laws in Curacao are a bit more lenient.
Right, and
But
did
not.
you get like so when you were getting your license or when you were or applying for your license, did you look at like several different like companies that like offer, or did you just or did you already have one in mind?
So with the casino, I interviewed probably about I think it was 10 to 12 different companies, and we sort of narrowed it down based on how the company sort of interacted with us, because a few of them were just a bit shoddy, and they just didn't reply in a timely manner, or were just a bit unethical to work with. Um, we chose Lion Gaming because most of them are based in Canada, so a respectable Western country that has respectable anti-money laundering laws, and I say respectable in terms of international finance, because if you are hosting like in Afghanistan, probably wouldn't look best. So that's why we chose Canada, a team that was based in Canada. Say my actual casino team, the ones who are developing the games, because Lion Gaming have helped with the license and they're helping with a bit of the back end to help with the KYC and anti money laundering. But the team that are developing the games are mine, and they're in Estonia, and I've been working with them for a few years.
Yeah, I actually have my own. Excuse me for chilling a little bit, but I actually have my own betting Discord as well. So I was just curious because I still have to go through that process of getting the license as well. But thank you for answering my questions. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Say we also actually nearly chose Malta. If you're looking, Curacao and Malta are both really good options for getting a gambling license. They're both relatively simple. It is just money, really.
Thank you so much. I'll definitely stay in touch, and if I have any other questions, I'll
Yeah,
ask.
that's brilliant. Just send them over.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to leave us with, Byron? Like a last thought? And I'll let you think about that for a second. Um, how should we handle these whitelists? Do you want people to open a ticket in your Discord, or do you want people to DM you?
If they want to open a ticket in our Discord, that'd be for the best.
That's the best
Either
thing.
myself or one of my guys, Phillips, will get back to you ASAP, and you'll be guaranteed an OG spot for the first, like I think we said the first 10 people from your guys server will be guaranteed an OG spot.
Okay, awesome. Um, any parting words for oh, by the way, once we wrap up, I'll immediately upload this to YouTube. I'll send you the link immediately, and it'll probably take a couple hours to get published, just so you know what to expect.
So that's absolutely fine. Yes, YouTube processing times are what they are these days.
Yeah.
Um, Parting words. Our project is going to be big, and I know we're going to succeed either way. The marketing budget from the OG launch will. We are pushing for the OG launch because we want a bit of more marketing budget, and we will know we can do better things with a bigger marketing budget. But we know we're going to get to all of the milestones that we have announced this year. It is just we know we can do great, but it's how fast do the dominoes fall. The more money we get at the beginning, the faster they fall.
So your
But
hope.
they're all still going to fall.
Sorry
So
to interrupt you.
get in on this project early, because the earlier you get in, the bigger your domino will become.
So pre-sale is going to be in, I forget what you said, probably
Pre-sale is that we said it was going to be today, but we decided to postpone, and we
okay.
haven't launched a date for that. But
Very wise in my opinion. I would not want to do a pre-sale today. I mean, this is literally the day after one of the worst crypto events.
yeah,
Um,
so I say originally we were going to do today, but I think we're looking at sometime next week. But
okay.
I'm going to leave it up in the air. And to be honest, OG launch is going to be relatively stealth. We're going to tell people in our Discord a few hours before, and it will go live,
Okay.
because we want people just to sort of come in as when they can. We'll tell, yeah, it'll be a few hours before, but not a lot.
And what would be the period of time before the actual token publicly is trading?
Um, 4 weeks after the OG, 3 weeks after the OG. Sorry, I'm working on different time scale in my head. 3 weeks after the OG sale.
Do you guys already have, I know you've answered this question some, but a bunch of marketing lined up? I know we talked about guerrilla marketing, but I would assume that you're going to do some traditional YouTube, Twitter, that kind of thing. Is that true?
Yes. Plus, we're going to also have a. We've been talking to a 3D artist, someone who can do CGI animations, and we're doing this really cool advert for the casino and sports betting, and it's going to be sick. Plus, we're also doing some just adverts for the crypto involving some animations. They're going to be pretty cool, blasting all over TikTok and Snapchat and Reddit and most socials. I like YouTube is also going to be pushed heavily. Plus, we're going to be doing a load more AMAs and talking to everyone in the community, because we want to be community focused. like say I don't always chat in my Discord because I'm ridiculously busy at the moment trying to get trying to make sure everyone has a chance to come forward and enjoy our project. But we are community focused, and we do take everyone's suggestions on board and try and better ourselves, because we're not perfect, but we're gonna do well. And so we might make some mistakes on the way, but we're actually we're good people when we know what we're doing. We've all got experience between the development team. There's over 60 years of experience, and we've all worked in major industry, and we all know what we're doing. So we're trying to grow a business, not just a pump and dump.
Yeah, excellent. Well, I'm convinced. I mean, this was a really good AMA. You answered the questions really well, I thought. And thank you for being here. I think that everybody who was in the audience and everybody who will listen to this soon on YouTube is going to have most of their questions answered. Um, and I know how busy it is as a founder myself and as a business owner. Um, I'm sure you wake up every day with a long list of DMs. Isn't that true?
It's not just the DMs, but yeah, my phone vibrates itself off the shelf if I don't turn it on to do not disturb mode. But like, we're also like, because our team is so far apart and we have to do some stuff in person. Like, I was in Bulgaria earlier this week, and I'm gonna be in Canada in about 2 weeks' time. Like, we're doing a lot of traveling to make sure stuff actually goes ahead.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's brutal when you're traveling and working and you're trying to find the time and you're dealing with luggage and trying to get breakfast and making sure the hotels are confirmed. I've been there as well. Um,
Yeah, plus trying to do 12 hours of coding in a foreign country, and it's just,
oh my God.
yeah, when you got jet lag as well, it's all horrible, but it's not terrible. We'll get through it, and once we get to the launch, we can take a sigh of relief and just let the community drive us, because we know our community is going to do well. And so everything we've done is so far is organic. We haven't done much paid promotion yet, and we're already hitting the numbers we wanted to be hitting before OG. Like, we're getting there, and it's so good to see that we can do it, and we know we can, and we're gonna succeed.
I think you guys are too. I mean, the connection between crypto and online casinos is one of the strongest connections there is. Online casinos have been one of the biggest money makers since the internet started. The amount of money being made in online casinos is,
Hmm.
I don't want to say gross, but I think that that is the word for it. It's shocking. It's shocking. Billions per year. Uh,
We're talking projections of 356 million over 6 months
wow.
that will pass through our casino. Um, and that's after the first 6 months. But to be honest, actually, one of the most shameless marketing tactics we've got, I completely forgot to mention this, is about the crypto mobile network. Is that's basically just a marketing tactic. Is to onboard people who don't necessarily know a lot about crypto, but know some. And it's just like your parents or people who want to get into crypto but don't want to take the jump. And it's just sort of forcing them over that edge, because we'll be giving out SIM cards that will have 1 month worth of unlimited data, unlimited text, unlimited calls. They put that in their phone, and the only way to pay for the next month is with Cyborg. So then they
Wow.
have, so then they either have to spend 2 hours, like an hour or so, working out how to swap it on Pancake Swap, and do it all through Binance and buying your BNB and then swapping it into BUSD and then swapping it through Pancake Swap. Or by that time, because the crypto mobile network comes after the bank app will be launched and the bank card, they can just sign up to the bank card and do it all in one. And by giving someone 1 month's worth of free data, we've also onboarded them as a banking client. And we've also onboarded them as a token protocol client, so they've worked because they had to buy into Cyborg. And to actually run a mobile network, it's not overly expensive as a virtual network, anyway.
I see that's very innovative, and I love your ideas for marketing. This has been one of the most refreshing AMAs in recent days, for sure.
When everything else is so stale, it must seem that way.
Oh yeah, sure. And one of the good things that we're seeing in DeFi is a lot of the worst projects are just abandoning. They have been shook, and um, I'm trying to think of the right analogy, but yeah, the crypto space has been shook, and some of the weaker, less, robust fruits are just falling right off the tree. And the projects that are continuing to grow are going to have very healthy fruit.
So I actually do say two. I know two of the current audience were in one of my AMAs last week, and I was literally spouting last week. There is an apocalypse coming for crypto, and if we sort of need to ride that wave,
Yeah,
and we can get through to the other side of it. If you make it through to the other side, you're going to do well. Like our goal is to sort of do what Amazon did with the .com bubble, because we know we're in a bubble, but launching in a bubble is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just you've got to get through the bubble.
that's right. You have to make it out the other side, and that way you can ride the next wave.
Mm-hmm. And
It's
so that's why we're trying to bring in so much liquidity. Plus, then also the 25% of the profit goes straight back into liquidity to shore up the protocol, ready for the. Because I feel what we've seen this week is just the start. I reckon we'll have another few weeks of bullish activity, and then we'll probably have an apocalypse. I reckon there's a big apocalypse coming, and we'll see 50% wiped off market caps easy, and
wow.
like it probably even more. Like I can see like BTC going back down to like 10k easy, like, and then it will go back up again. I reckon, but in a year's time we'll be back up to record profit. It's just
Wow.
people get scared, and it's what happens. But I can see an apocalypse coming,
Well, I
and
really, I really enjoyed this conversation. One thing I want to do in the near future is have sort of a round table. And I know you're busy, but this would be multiple topics, a sort of a loose discussion, and it would just be among other founders, other project leaders and owners, and some of the more prominent devs. And we've got some big names that have already signed up. We don't have anything scheduled yet. We're sort of playing it by ear, and this would be next month. This isn't something we're going to do, next week. Is that something that you might be interested in? I know how busy you are, but this might
yeah, it
this
should
might
be
draw.
fine. It should be yeah,
It should be
we're
good.
definitely
It should
well.
be drawing a crowd from multiple different projects at once, and we'll try to keep them short, like an hour or 90 minutes max, and that way we can leave room and space for people to want more. And maybe we could do it bi-weekly, and people could come and go. You could hop in and say, um,
I'll be happy to hop in, and I'm a friendly-ish person, but I like I did say earlier, we will be trying to rein other tokens liquidity pools and onboard their users and holders as our users and holders through the casino and other solutions. Like we'll be actively targeting other people because we can see where we want to actually help the community, and by giving them a multiplier on their what is left, we've actually given them a bit more of their dignity back after some of these rug pulls. Like they've lost a lot of money, let's not make them lose any more.
yes, and you're not the only project. Million Dollar Baby was saying the same thing. They're going to be doing the same strategy here soon. Um,
I've heard a lot about those guys, and one of them was trying to talk to me, and I don't know. I have I they're Interesting.
They were very friendly and professional and knowledgeable and smart and interesting. We had a great AMA with them. Um, their community was strong and came and so yeah, I mean, I have nothing but good things to say about those guys. I would recommend that
I have
you
nothing
do it.
bad to say about them. It's just I have nothing good to say about them either.
Hmm.
They are just they're there. Like
You
I don't really focus on any of the other projects except for the ones that are failing around us because if they fail, like there's a good chance that we could go that route as well in the future. So we got to learn from their mistakes.
Sure, and they're not doing a casino, so there's really no conflict of
Yeah.
interest that I can see.
Oh yeah, no, there isn't anything between us. I just we were just talking the other day because we think we were going to do something with them.
Yeah, I recommend it. I think if there's any, I know we've already done last call, but this is the final last call. I think we want to be respectful of Byron's time and let him go ahead and get back to work. Um, and Byron, did you have something to say?
No, I'm all good.
All right. Well, thank you guys
Well,
very much. Thank you again for being here, Byron, Lola,
thank you very
LeVar
much, guys.
Burton. Thank you for the audience members who asked questions. Um, and this will be on YouTube in just a couple of hours, if unless there's some tough technical difficulty. And it'll be posted in my AMA section, and I'm sure Byron will post it probably in your announcements. Correct?
Yeah, one of my Phillips who's in the audience. Yeah, get on that in a minute.
Yeah, because a lot of people like to listen to these like a podcast. They like to be able to pause it and use the bathroom or put it on while they're doing something else. Asking people to be here at a certain time when it's an international community is sometimes a lot to ask.
Yeah, I do agree, especially when these AMAs can go on for an hour or so.
Yeah. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. This was a great AMA, I thought.
Yep.
Um, and one last time, thank you so much for being here, Byron.
Thank you very much for having me.
Very
Nice talking to
appreciated.
you guys.
Nice talking to you too.
Bye.